Friends, today's story is about a girl who is a very big star of her time, but now she is 50 years old and hence all her stardom is over and she goes to a black market named Substance to become young and beautiful again. She uses a drug called Bazaar, which gives her a new body, but she has to face a situation which takes a very horrific turn. At the beginning of the story, we see that an egg is injected, which gives birth to a new body. A new egg is created through cell division, and this is the basic concept of this film. After this, we see a lot of people who are setting up the Walk of Fame, which is done for big celebrities. This celebrity, her name is Elizabeth Sparkles, and she is a very big star of her time, but with time her youth and stardom both fade away. Then after this, we see Elizabeth, who hosts a fitness TV show. Today is Elizabeth's 50th birthday. It is his birthday and everyone is wishing him. After that his boss calls him to meet him alone and he indirectly says that your time is over because you are 50 years old now and your youth is over long ago. What he meant to say was that he does not need Elizabeth anymore, which makes her sad, and then she leaves. She leaves for her home and on the way she sees that her banner ad is being removed. She is heartbroken to see this and gets distraught. She meets with an accident. Luckily, she survives and gets a call from her parents. Only minor injuries occur. The doctor is also her fan and wishes her a happy birthday, but Elizabeth starts crying. After the doctor leaves, the compounder starts checking Elizabeth's spine in a strange manner while the doctor tells her everything beforehand. He had told her that he was okay before leaving, that is why Elizabeth finds it strange. She asks the compounder if everything is okay. The compounder says that yes, everything is fine, in fact it is perfect and you are the perfect candidate for him. Then he gives a secret packet to Elizabeth. Meanwhile, Elizabeth notices a strange mark on her hand and comes out. Elizabeth sees that there is a drive inside the packet, and there is a note from the compounder saying that this has changed my life. Then on the way, she meets a man from her school days whose name is Fred and he is very fond of Elizabeth. He is a big fan. In a way he is crazy about her and starts praising Elizabeth. Elizabeth feels very good after hearing his words that there is still someone who likes her so much and considers her a star, and she takes his number. Elizabeth then goes home and plays the drive in which she learns about an injection called Substance. This injection causes cellular division and a new body is created which will be her younger self. At first, she hesitates to use it and throws the drive in the dustbin because it is a black market drug and using it could be risky, but on seeing herself aging in the mirror she changes her mind and realizes that she needs the substance. There is a need for it, after which she orders it and gets it. It contains many things like activated dose about which it was clearly written that it is for single use, and there are some other things along with it. It is a complete kit in a way. Now Elizabeth injects the activator in her body, after which she feels severe pain and she starts feeling dizzy and falls on the ground and starts writhing in pain. In a short while, her body gets paralyzed and she is unable to move even if she wants to. Then, changes begin to take place in her body, the pupils of her eyes multiply and becomes two, as happened with the egg in the beginning, and then someone comes out tearing the bag, who is Elizabeth's younger self. She becomes very happy to see her new body, and she becomes young once again. And she was looking beautiful. Then she starts stitching silk on the waist of her old body with a needle, and this scene is quite hard. Actually, the old Elizabeth is not dead, but she is just in an unconscious state, and she connects her with the food supply kit. As was mentioned in the instructions, Elizabeth was now feeling great in her new body, and she was enjoying it. The next day, when she came out after taking a shower, she suddenly got a severe headache and her nose started bleeding. In her excitement, she forgot to use the rest of the things in the kit. He learns that a flute will be formed in the spine of his old body, which has to be removed and injected in the new body, and that fluid has to be taken daily for 7 days, and after 7 days he has to switch his body so that the new fluid is again injected in the body, and this cycle will continue. That is, 7 days in the new body and 7 days in the old body. Elizabeth leads a double life. Auditions are going on for a new model for Ziegfeld, while on the other hand, a new model comes to replace Elizabeth. And her audition was going on. Now she goes for the audition. People go crazy on seeing her. She was absolutely perfect for them and immediately she gets selected for the show, and the boss also hires her immediately, but he puts a condition in front of them. She says that she will be available only on alternate weeks as she has to take care of her mother outside town. To which the boss says he says that everything is forgiven for you, I only need you for my show, and he accepts her condition. After this she joins the show. The audience also becomes crazy about her, and in no time she becomes a star like Elizabeth was. Now after 7 days she switches back to her old body, and she used to do this through a drip. This is how she was living her double life. Till now everything was going well, but then something goes wrong. While she is having fun with a boy as Sue, suddenly Sue feels sick and her nose starts bleeding. She somehow manages to control herself and finds out that the fluid is gone. And she has to switch her body immediately, but she didn't have to do that right now. She had to spend more time with that boy, and this is where Sue makes a big mistake. She breaks the rule, and to increase her time she uses she takes extra fluid from the body, and after her satisfaction, when she switches the body, she finds out that one of her fingers is damaged. It looked like the finger of a 100-year-old woman. This upsets Elizabeth, and she tells the customer care that my younger self has messed up. Then the customer care says, "Don't forget you are the same." Elizabeth asks if they can fix it, but the customer care refuses, saying that it is not possible and you will have to maintain balance in your life in future too. Now when Elizabeth watches TV, only S's show is on. And she finds out that Sue has completely replaced her. She felt that her own existence is in danger. So here Elizabeth was feeling jealous of Sue, as Elizabeth already had mental issues. She was already under stress due to not accepting old age, and now because of living this double life she developed split personality disorder, which is a very serious disease. So when she used to go into Sue's body, then she used to become a different person. Now after 7 days, when she gets back to her new home, when she goes to get the gut, she hears some voices in her ears. She feels that someone is following her. She gets worried and runs away to a restaurant where she feels shivering and her hands are trembling. Then an old man in the restaurant shouts at her. The man tells her that 7 days is too much and she needs to live completely alone, which makes Elizabeth understand that the man is also using substances, and then she sees his hand, which has a similar mark on it, which was on the hand of that compounder. That is, that compounder was the younger self of this old man. That man says that your young self has also started eating you. Due to which Elizabeth gets upset and runs away from there and collides with a boy on the way. And this is the same guy with whom she was making out as Sue, and the guy talks very rudely to her, who was loving her very much as Sue, and now seeing this she feels very humiliated for herself. And she remembers Fred, who liked her that way too, and he asked her out on a date. Fred immediately agrees, but when she gets ready to leave, she sees Sue and starts comparing herself with her and feels insecure. She looks at herself in the mirror and applies makeup. Then she goes out, sees Sue, and gets ready again. After some time, she becomes crazy and does not go on the date. Actually, her confidence level has dropped completely. Meanwhile, Fred keeps sending her messages. "I am in the restaurant, where are you?" But she doesn't reply. Then by the time she is in Elizabeth form, she is very depressed, and in one scene we see that during the shoot she has something like a bubble on her hip. It comes out, which frightens her, but the very next moment her hip becomes normal. But other people also saw this. They start checking by replaying what was this strange thing, and everybody starts zooming in slow motion on her hip. They were trying it out, which made Sue uncomfortable, and she leaves the place giving an excuse. Now she sees that there is a bump on her hip. It looks like something is sticking out, which she slides from her stomach to her navel, and then a chicken leg piece comes out from her navel. But the very next moment she realizes that it was just a nightmare and she just switched herself, and maybe Sue's personality also had mental issues, because ultimately both were the same. Then when she goes for the actual shoot, she finds out that she is being liked a lot, due to which the ratings of the show also skyrocket. And being happy with this, the boss offers her for the New Year show, and Sue gets very excited on getting such a big opportunity, and she starts preparing for the show, due to which her schedule becomes very busy and she feels that she has to spend 7 days in the show. The day is not enough for her. She wants to live life to the fullest, and she starts increasing her time in the wrong way by taking extra food from Elizabeth's body. Now Elizabeth used to support the balance from her side, but Sue did not do so. For many days she used to stay in her, the bodies were not switched, which would have caused Elizabeth's body to decay slowly, and she gets very angry at Sue's behavior and talks to the customer care about this, where the agent says that you are the Matrix, you can terminate him if you want, to which she asks that by doing this everything will be ruined. It will be same as before, but the agent says that nothing can be same as before, but if you want then you can stop it here. But Elizabeth is not able to take the decision to kill Sue, and this time when Sue's turn comes, she forgets that Elizabeth is also something and she starts taking flute from his body, but she does not switch it, and like this 3 months pass and the next day was the date of New Year's show, but this time when she starts taking out extra flute then she finds out that the flute has stopped forming in Elizabeth's body and she is forced to switch her body, where she gets scared just by looking at herself. Her back is bent and she looks like a 200 to 300-year-old witch. But the surprising thing was that she was alive even in this condition, and it was like a curse. Now Elizabeth decides that she has to kill Sue or else she will kill herself, and she gives him the termination injection, but then he is revived and through him he has got such a big chance again, and CPR is done on Sue. She tries to fix the body and starts switching herself, but this time a very strange thing happens. Both the bodies come into conscious state simultaneously, where both are shocked to see each other. Then she sees the termination injection. She takes the note, from which she understands that Elizabeth wants to kill her, immediately after which she attacks Elizabeth, and now due to her body being weak, Elizabeth is unable to face her, and Sue also beats her very badly, and she beats her till Elizabeth's body collapses, and then she leaves for the show. But in the makeup room she feels something strange and she starts coughing and goes to the washroom, and then her teeth start getting stuck while coughing. And after some time she had a show, and all this was happening to her, which made her go crazy. Actually this was the effect of the injection that was given to her, because it killed her matrix, and without it she would not have been able to survive, although both the reasons could have happened. Then she remembers that some activation is still left, due to which she can create a new energy. She thinks about building her body, and then she starts leaving from there, but then investors come to see Sue. When her boss sees her upset, he asks her, "Are you okay?" Now if she opens her mouth, her teeth will be visible. I just nod my head, and the boss tells me to smile. After this, she shows him a big fake smile and assures him that everything is fine. As soon as he leaves, she starts running away from there, and when she presses the button in the lift, her nails pierce her cheeks. Also comes out, and even one of her ears breaks and falls off. Now she somehow manages herself and with great difficulty reaches her home and finds and takes out that activator. In fact, for this activator it was told that it can be used only once, but still she injects it and wishes that I should be given a new body, but that was not the matrix, it was a copy. So the copy tries to make a copy here, which results in multiple cellular division instead of single cellular division, and this time it is a she comes out in a dangerous form, in the form of a very big tumor where everything was upside down. Her hand was somewhere, her breast was somewhere else, and Elizabeth's face was attached on her back. Overall she was looking very dangerous. She considered herself to be a very dangerous person. Seeing her in this form, she is completely shattered, but still she gets ready for the show, looks at her strange body parts, takes out Elizabeth's face from the poster and wears it like a mask, and finally she accepts her original self. And similarly, she goes to the show and gets the vision that everybody is pressing her, praising her, clapping for her, but in reality, seeing her on the stage, everybody was confused as to what this thing was, and then the mask falls off, a breast pops out of her eye socket, and the audience gets scared seeing this, and everyone he calls him a monster. Then some security guards come to attack him and his head is cut off with an axe, but again another head grows, fountains of blood start gushing out of his body, and all the people present there get covered in blood. They take a bath in it. Now in the end, Elizabeth's body starts breaking down and turns into a lump of flesh, but her face part is still alive and crawling like an amoeba. It goes to the same star place, and now it reaches its end moment. In this, Elizabeth is happy remembering her star life, and with this she dies, and the story ends at this moment. Friends, if you liked the story, then like the video, and if you are new on the channel, then subscribe to the channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to be the first to get the next update.